Yo, what is going on, guys? We are at Duke University right now, and today I'm going to be going around and asking Duke students how they got into Duke. And before we get started, don't forget to drop a like, drop a sub. Let me know what school you want to see next, what questions I should ask, and let's get started. Okay, I am now here with Alan. Now I am in my buddy Larry's apartment, and I'm here with
My name is Rajkunda. Zach.
with Kihan and Lisa. So yeah, let's just get started. What's your year? What's your major?
Well, let's see. I am a first year, so freshman. I am a mechanical engineering major. Might do the aerospace certificate as well. Sort of like a minor, but not really.
Aerospace certificate. Sounds fancy.
I'm a sophomore studying computer science. So I'm a first year in Trinity, and that's just our arts and sciences school. I'm thinking about doing a program 2 major, which is like kind of a build your own major, and I want to focus in the ethical and policy implications of healthcare technology.
I'm a sophomore studying stats and maybe CS.
I am computer science and psychology.
I studied the history of Pokemon.
Oh my god. Did you RD or ED to Duke?
I was an RD applicant to Duke. I applied regular.
I ED'd.
Okay, so if you're willing to share, what were your basic high school stats, SAT, ACT, and GPA?
My GPA, I don't remember exactly, but I think like around the time I got it, might have been like a 4.6, something like that, with all the weighting that my school does. My SAT, I think, was a 1560. I don't remember the sub scores, but I think ACT was a 35, so around the same thing.
Well, I had a pretty high GPA. I had like a 4.0 unweighted, and then weighted like a 4.7 or something. And SAT, I don't remember exactly, around like a 1550-ish. I did take the ACT, but it was like the one that they give us for free in school. I think I got like a 34 or something. I didn't use it.
I had like a 4.0 unweighted GPA and then like a 1520 on the SAT.
Nice.
Oh wow, this is this kind of interview. 36 on ACT. What are the other stats? 3.9.
Yeah, GPA.
Slash like 4.5 weighted.
SAT if you took it?
1520.
I had a 1410.
Okay.
I think I took 5 AP classes in sophomore year and then 6 in junior and senior year. I got mainly 5s, a few 4s. I took the SAT sophomore year. I think I got 1580. GPA was around like a 4.65, 4.66.
What was your biggest extracurricular that you put the most time into?
I applied for this grant that was like $5,000 where I was able to create my own community service project. So I ran a summer camp for kids in LA where we taught science through baking for 2 summers, and then we reapplied and got $10,000 funding, and we were able to expand that throughout a couple years.
That's cool.
So that was really fun.
I took advantage of the
gap in supply and demand and various e-commerce markets and develop my own platform to distribute the goods in a way that was both efficient and costly, therefore that I would be able to make money.
Air Force Junior ROTC. Spent quite a bit of time, many hours on that.
That's cool.
Yep.
Probably TSA, so Technology Student Association. It was like a competition STEM club. So my big thing for that, one of the bigger events I did was a 3D modeling event where I created it wasn't specifically 3D modeling, but I created a video, or an animation that, it was an educational video about fracking, and then that one semi-finaled at the international competition, so that did pretty well. And I guess the other big one was probably this one research program I did at UNC Charlotte, where I did research on ancient Babylonian and Egyptian math and how that related to modern high school curricula. Yeah, that was the big one.
That's cool.
I think for me, I was really into environmental science in high school, and that was kind of unique. I feel not a lot of people was into that, but I did a lot of environmental competitions, Envirothon, science, not Science Olympiad, but I did state science fair, and I also did a Siemens competition where I won semifinalist. I think that's my biggest award.
Yeah.
So in high school, I put a lot of time into scientific research. I did a lot of stuff at NC State for a year and a half, and then I got an internship at the UNC School of Pharmacy through their Young Innovators program, which I did for the summer, and that was the major thing.
If you were to rate your Common App essay from 1 to 10, what do you think it was?
I think it was 8 or 9. I thought it was really strong, and I made sure to revise it a lot. I started really early, and then every day I'll take a look at it and make small revisions.
Maybe my Common App essay, I'd rate it an 8. I wrote it well. So basically, after I was rejected from my REA school that I applied to, like I completely reworked it, and they kept the topic the same, but basically how I implemented it was completely different. But still, I would say there's room for improvement.
I'm gonna go with like a 7, maybe like a 7.5. I don't know. The engineering school does admissions separately, so they weight things differently as well. Whereas the Trinity College, they focus more on things like extracurriculars, things you did outside of school. The Pratt School of Engineering is more numbers focused. Like they care more about your GPA, SAT score. So obviously extracurriculars factor into it as well, but just less so in this case.
I wrote about being a whitewater rafting guide, so I thought it was a pretty amazing essay.
I don't know. You rate my Common App.
Oh, her Common App, I forgot. So
don't think you
pretty
ever
not
read it.
important. 1 to 10.
7, 8.
7, 8.
No, dude, mine was like a solid 11. Like I rewrote it in the last day, and it was pretty good because I didn't like the message of my first one, but then I liked the message of my second one.
day.
I
Yeah.
did write all my Duke supplements
That's
on the
fine.
last day.
She wrote it on the
Dang.
bathroom. So I think if you want to get into Duke, you need to scratch everything you have the day before and just evolve. Super Saiyan.
That's the advice for all of you looking to get in. Did you have an interview for Duke?
No, I didn't. Most ED kids didn't because it was so early. Yeah.
I did not. I think the thing about Duke is most kids around the RDU area didn't get interviews, as far as I know. It's mostly a thing they did for like kids farther out.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I've like never heard of people around here getting interviews, but I see it online and
It's
everywhere.
like the only college interview I had was UH, and that was like way far away. So
So I interviewed for Duke after I submitted my RD application, but honestly I don't think it made that big of a difference. I talked about like the regular things, but I also talked about some of my hobbies, and it was like by pure chance he had similar hobbies, so I connected with him on that.
I did not have an interview. I applied early enough, but I didn't get one.
Okay. So far, is Duke harder, easier, the same difficulty as you expected?
I think maybe a little bit harder or around the same. Like I definitely expected it to be tough. At the same time, like yeah, it like definitely there are kids here that like are crazy like smart. Like people who like from like India international students like that have won like gold at like Olympiads and stuff, like math Olympiads, and it's just like yeah, it's crazy like the amount of people here, the diversity.
Kind of chilling.
Chilling.
I have
hard,
brain
though.
damage.
It's
Yeah,
hard,
brain
but you're kind
damage.
of chilling.
Interesting.
Oh, that's a great question. I didn't really have much expectations going in, but I'm gonna go with harder. Just some of the intro engineering courses especially were kind of difficult.
And those are just for intro ones?
Well, I guess the like especially like the math courses, Duke math is pretty hard. So like my multivariable calculus class was kind of hellish. But like or I guess the specific intro like engineering design courses aren't that bad. It's just like once you start getting to like the really heavy stuff, the theoretical things, is where it gets kind of bad.
I'd say maybe a little bit easier than I've expected, but we're still in these like intro classes, and yeah, they haven't gotten too bad yet. Okay. Pretty like average, a little bit above average, which to get through college, that's all you need. So
Definitely like I expected the courses to be hard, but like I was kind of hit like a truck by all these courses. I was not expecting this kind of difficulty, especially like as a first year, but I feel like I've kind of adapted to it, as everyone does.
If you weren't accepted to Duke, what school do you think you'd be at right now?
Oh, that was a tough one. I was deciding between NC State and Purdue, probably leaning a little more towards NC State just because it was a little closer to home. So it's going to be one of those two.
I would probably be at University of Texas at Austin.
Okay.
UPenn?
Home.
I'm not sure. I think maybe U Chicago. U Chicago gave me like a likely letter, but besides that, like I'm glad I'm at Duke. I'm glad I ED'd, and that's about it.
I think I'd probably be at Rice or Hopkins. Those are the other two like big ones I got accepted to. Otherwise, I'd be at UNC because it's a great school and it's in-state.
Nice. All right.
Virginia, so it's right next.
Sounds good.